Wow, good morning. You're welcome to this edition of Dialogue Box on Blossom Nigeria. It's been moving on and we are making progress definitely, and we know that in everything that concerns you, that should be the story of whatever that circumstance is. Make up your mind that you must make progress, you must move forward, and in all things that you encounter in life, you are always the victor, the champion. That is who you are. So this Monday morning, beautiful, bright, sunny Monday morning, we are going to be looking at the agricultural sector that we started talking about last week, Thursday. But we said we're going to still look more into it because we still noticed a lot of other subsectors that needed to be given attention to. And we had a guest with us, Mr Sotonye, that gave us more insight into some of the areas where he thinks or where he thought that the government and even individuals can do much more at this time to make agriculture a core sector in the economy, because we are talking about sustaining the Nigerian economy through agriculture, and that's a very key aspect of our discussion this morning. So we'll be looking at it, and also how we can take advantage of exportation, because we have it that for a while now Nigeria has not been so strong in exporting agricultural produce. It's been more of just the oil and gas sector that has been like the attention of the government. So, but much more needs to be done to make agriculture and the raw materials in the agricultural sector to be in the forefront of exportation, because we know, and from research and analysis, it's been stated that when they are all a part of what the economy is being involved in right now, it will lead to a lot of turnaround, even reduce inflation, create a lot of jobs, and help even a lot of homes to sustain their source of livelihoods. So we'll just give you a brief background and we'll move on from there. So don't forget that you have to reach us on 090-5252-5107. You can give us a call, you can send us a message, but make up your mind to be a part of today's conversation. All right, using the growth and accounting framework from 1960 till date, research has discovered that the agricultural sector has contributed positively and consistently to economic growth in Nigeria, reaffirming the sector's importance in the economy. So the contribution of agriculture to economic growth is further affirmed from a causality test, which showed that agricultural growth causes GDP growth. However, no reverse relationship was found. So this is the case for agriculture. It's always there and always giving room for further economic progress in the economy. And the resilient nature of the sector is also evident in its ability to recover more quickly than other sectors from shocks. Shocks can result from disruptive events like civil wars, just like Nigeria experienced in 1967 to 1970. Then we also find out that economic recession can set in. We also have that from in the records that Nigeria has. Between 1981 and 1985, there was a very strong economic recession, but agriculture was the major sector that kept everyone going at the time. So we also find out that crop production subsector, that's the crop production subsector, contributes the most to agricultural sector growth. So since it is a fact that increased efforts in developing the crops, livestock, fisheries, and forestry subsectors will foster the contributions of the agricultural subsector, or rather the agricultural sector, to the Nigerian economy, how can they be fully maximized for more economic growth across the nation? That is our quest in our conversation today. How can agriculture be more fully maximized for more economic growth across the country? Very, very key, because we know that several other negative indicators are already on from the economy, and agriculture is always there like a buffer to the economy. So further background information will also give us more insight. Like I said, you can call us now on 090-5252-5107 and let us know what you think should be the way forward. What more can the government do in improving the agricultural sector to be a major income earner for the Nigerian economy, and also translate and transport and also transform a lot of the other subsectors to produce even more results. So in Nigeria, from the 1960s, we discovered that 60% of the economy, the population of the economy, is employed in the agricultural sector. So we have that economic growth will be almost impossible to achieve without developing this particular sector. Then furthermore, the importance of agriculture to the Nigerian economy is evident in the nation's natural endowment in production factors like extensive arable land, water, human resources, and capital. So exploring the nation's productive advantage in this sector is the fastest way to stimulate growth in the economy. So we already have the resources. We have them in the arable land, in water, in human resources, and in the capital. But the question is, how are we maximizing these aspects of production that we already have going for us as a nation? Last week, we took time to also talk about how to manage funds that are given to us for one reason or the other, one assignment or the other, because in agriculture, this is also a victim of the current situation whereby funds can be assigned for a particular work in the agricultural sector, for instance, and much more may not come to the fore because of the issue of management of funds. So, but as we move on, we can also know how to advise the nation and the private sector to key into this area so very, so strongly that everyone can be involved in turning around the face of agriculture in Nigeria. Then originally, we have that agriculture was dependent, the country rather was dependent on agriculture before we went and there was a shift in focus to oil exports from the 1970s, and decades of slow economic growth followed after. So agriculture currently contributes 40% of the gross domestic product, GDP, and employs about 70% of the working population in Nigeria, either directly or indirectly. Then agriculture is also the largest economic activity in the rural area, where almost 50% of the population lives. So furthermore, the nation was self-sufficient in food production and exports of major crops, which accounted for over 70% of total exports from 1960. Then, due to fall in local production, among other factors, we have it that importation of food began to increase, and food items like bread made from imported wheat flour began to replace cheap staple food. So according to researchers, in 2012 alone, importation of wheat was valued at $1 billion. That's for the importation of wheat alone for the country Nigeria. So largely due to the significant fall in the output of exports, products like cocoa, cashew, palm oil, rubber, groundnuts, the share and some other products now have a share in the agricultural products in total exports that have decreased to less than 2% in the 1990s. So what we are saying here is that we have a lot that agriculture was doing for us as a nation until the oil and gas took over. But even with that, agriculture has witnessed a major decrease in exportation because other items started coming from outside the shores of the country. And just like the record we gave right now, that according to research, in 2012 alone, importation of wheat was valued at over $1 billion. That's a lot. We have not mentioned the other areas that food items would have been coming in, talking about agricultural raw materials. So these are materials that were imported into the country alone. So now, the question is, what happens to the export that was going from Nigeria to other parts of the world in recognition of the fact that it was a major income earner and also helping to develop the sector in our nation? So these are some of the areas that we still need to address. Then with these stated facts, 5 other intersectoral linkages, that means areas where agriculture can link as in through the economy. We have that agriculture contributes to economic growth through the provision of food, the labor, the market, domestic saving, and even foreign exchange. So, and this has been established. So these linkages can serve as reference points through which the government can target development policies and disburse investment funds, ensuring more agricultural development. So this is what is needed at this time. More funds needs to be invested into agriculture, because we have it that it contributes to economic growth through the provision of food, provision of labor, materials, market, domestic savings, and even foreign exchange. So for this, these linkages are so key to the development of the economy that the government cannot ignore it and just leave it to the whims and caprices of the people. No, there has to be a deliberate investment into the sector, just like it has been doing for a while. But just like our analyst said last week, much more needs to be done. We mentioned the Anchor Borrowers Program, where the government, through the CBN, that's the Central Bank of Nigeria, has introduced a scheme to encourage people to come for funds so that they can invest into their different agricultural fields. So with that, then also from the CEL, the incentive-based risk-sharing agricultural lending system, which is also on. But the analyst made a very key point. He said, even though these are good initiatives by the government, but the question is, how soon can one access these funds? He made mention of timing. He said in some cases, you can apply for funds in the some of these schemes that the government has talked about, and it can take almost a year before one can access those funds. So in his words, he saw it as a waste of time and effort for an average investor who wants to maybe access funds to invest into a sector of agriculture. So to him, the government needs to do much more in giving faster timelines that can help in accessing funds. And also, he also talked about the fact that some of these funds, even when they have finally come, when they have finally arrived, rather, the percentage is high. So when you have such high percentage to pay back whatever you access from the government, how can you work well and also expect profit from your business? So these were some of the concerns that he raised. So the emphasis for national food surplus, excuse me, the emphasis for, sorry, the emphasis for national food surplus and stronger exportation, that's an exportation drive, should be on developing all the agricultural subsectors, including livestock production. We have it in fishery, in forestry, crop production, and strengthening their linkages to other sectors of the economy through value chain development. So you can see, wherever you are, you can talk to us, you can let us know how the government can achieve all of these linkages. It's not just in one sector. We have it in crop production, we have it in forestry, we have it in livestock production, we have it in fishery. But as it is right now, Nigeria still spends a lot of money in importing some species of fish from outside the country, and that is a lot that goes into accessing foreign exchange. So a lot of those can be prevented if government invests more of those funds into what is currently obtainable in Nigeria and expand the market base. And just like we said, even have enough, talking about domestic savings. So these are some of the areas where linkages can be achieved, talking about subsectors on forestry, on crop production, on livestock production, and different other aspects. Then now we'll talk about creating more employment opportunities and generating additional income for the nation, enhancing the enhancing the industrialization process. That's a very, very key factor. From what we have as raw materials, how we can generate additional income for the nation if we can enhance some of these things through the right process of industrialization. And this lays emphasis to the claims that Nigeria cannot achieve either economic growth or development without a developed agricultural sector. Wow, this is really something that is what we should be looking at this time. How much more can the government do in seeing to it that these areas are well developed? They are expanded further, and beyond just initiatives that are, on paper, how much is being done to make these initiatives very practical, accessible, and areas where people can easily look into when they want to work and do more business in the agricultural sector. All the other subsectors need to be developed at the same time. We talked about the crop production, the forestry aspect. Last week we mentioned the fact that even the aspect of exportation of the rubber tree, that's the derivatives from the rubber tree, has not been as it was before. Then also even cashew is a major cash crop that should have been given a lot of attention to. That is not also being exported at the right metric ton. So a lot more still needs to be done by the government to improve on agriculture, because we are talking about sustaining the Nigerian economy through agriculture. So let us know what you think about that. Send us your comments, send us your thoughts, and call us on 090-5252-5107. Because when we talk about diversifying the economy, this is what it entails. Diversifying the economy means you don't just have only one source of income as a nation. What if something happens, just like the oil and gas sector is witnessing some challenges in that sector? What if something happens? What happens to the other sectors? And that one source of income as a nation also now determines the foreign exchange level and what goes into all of that. But when we know that there are several other areas from which the government can make raise their foreign reserves, get more income for domestic saving, and several other things that those funds can be used for, then we can really say, yes, this is what it takes. And that is why we're looking into agriculture. How much more can the government transform the agricultural sector, make it very, very attractive, and what everyone or most people would like to put their time and effort into, so that it won't just be seen as a source of income for those who are in the rural areas, but everywhere the quest is for improving agriculture and transforming it. All right. We have a call coming in now. Hello?
Hello, good morning, BlossomNigeria.
Good morning. Who is on the line?
My name is Chinkwe.
Okay, Chinkwe, you are welcome to Dialogue Box on BlossomNigeria. What's your take on this?
Yes, I think you have given a detailed explanation on the importance of agriculture.
Yeah.
And I don't think that anybody should be told about the importance of agriculture.
Yeah.
You see, it's one thing for we to know about the importance of agriculture, and it's another thing for people to work towards making our economy agriculture-based economy.
Yeah.
Like the last week, our analyst you called on the set said what a man thinks of first when he wakes up is food. Food is priority, and when government give attention to this, I think the nation can diversify from being an oil-dependent economy to agriculture-dependent economy.
Okay.
So now we are looking at exportation. In fact, we should first look at the agriculture. Is agriculture sufficient enough for the country? It is, but the government has not given it the needed support to boost agriculture.
Okay.
Although they are trying, but you see, they've got to use the power of media. They've got to use the power of media. Media is key in this. When you use the media to sensitize the people, educate the people, enlighten the people, people will know why they should go into agriculture. Agriculture today has evolved. It's not about carrying cutlass and hoe anymore. It has gone beyond that. So, but people don't know. When you meet an average man on the street and say agriculture, the first thing that comes to his mind is farming. He thinks of cutlass cutlass, shovel, hoe, digger. And so that is how it thinks. But agriculture has evolved. People don't know of the Anchor Brewers Forum, CBN has organized.
Yeah.
People don't know about the Nassau initiative. People don't know about Bank of Industry, Bank of Agriculture. People don't know what does it take, and you understand. So I am of the opinion that until people are aware, they cannot take advantage of the opportunity we have as a nation.
Okay.
So I'm employing the federal government to spend money more in media, in social campaign, give the people orientation why agriculture is important, why we can survive and depend on agriculture.
Okay.
And I'm talking to you now. I don't even know, me as an individual, I don't even know how to go about processing money for agriculture in the bank. Sometimes I hear 2.5, sometimes I hear 5%. How do I go about it? I need information.
Okay.
Information that will, you understand. So I am of the opinion that when more enlightenment program is
carried out,
then people can venture it. In fact, for a country like us, we don't mind if 60% are agriculture based jobs. So it will go a long way. Then when the nation is sufficed, I mean, we are okay with inward revenue, inward production of agriculture. You can think of about exports. And export is the big bang. What is happening, for example, in cashew now? Cashew is being exported and it's being exchanged for dollar. Imagine dollar coming into your country. What it will do to our country. Maybe the government should look at this more, and we need more technocrats, those who are more informed people to come into agriculture and enlighten us. It should be like a weekly or a daily campaign about the importance about what agriculture will do to boost the economy. We saw during Obasanjo time. Remember Operation Feed the Nation? When I was young, Operation Feed the Nation, everything it was all on it was a jingle. Operation Feed the Nation, Operation Feed the Nation. So everybody was agriculture based. We have cocoa, we have granules, we have rice, everything, so because Obasanjo took over from Gowon, and Gowon's government was more or less like oil based. We just hit the oil boom, bam, and everybody's going towards the oil sector. Now Obasanjo came in during his era, went to change people's mindset, brought in what we call Operation Feed the Nation. All these things are things that the government can engage more to enlighten people about the importance and the role of agriculture and how it will enrich them. Everybody can be involved in agriculture one way or the other. You can be the one going to the farm, you can be the one harvesting, you can be the one transporting, you can be the one converting raw materials to finished products, you can be the one in the distribution to market.
That's the value chain.
You can be the one in the sales. So everybody can be actually involved. This is what will help the economy. So that's what I am thinking. Government should spend more time. We should give more attention to media and media propaganda. That will help Nigeria to understand the role of agriculture in our economy.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chinkwe. That's a very, very valid point that if we are to sustain the economy through agriculture, the government must invest a lot of funds into media so that the right communication can be carried out and people can understand better why they should invest in agriculture. Thank you so much to Mr. Chinkwe for that. And he has already given us some very key points on why he thinks that agriculture still remains a very key area for the government at this time. And remembering Operation Feed the Nation, these were days that almost everybody was a full mobilization into agriculture. You just have to do it. You just have to come out and, get to the farm. But even thank God for technology and all the advancement and everything that is available right now. Like he said, you don't need to go out with cutlass and hoe anymore. Everything has been mechanized. So you can do mechanized farming and carry out all that you need to do in such a way that you don't even need to dirty your sleeves and your collar. So what needs to be done. Agriculture is a major aspect of the nation's economy, and it has to be given all the necessary support from the government, from individuals, from companies. Everyone has to do the needful in getting involved in agriculture. Now, what we'll do is this: we'll let us have more access to send us, your comment, your opinion on the website, that's www.blossomnigeria.com, and also on our Facebook page. You get there, you find us, it's Blossom Nigeria. That's our page, our group page. So once you get there, you can always post in your comment and your opinion and let us know what you think and how much more the government can maximize agriculture in sustaining the economy. Let's also have it in mind that in every aspect of all that we do in agriculture, it is still noted that agriculture is still a basic aspect of man's demand, and still it can still generate income, what the nation needs, what individuals need, and everybody can still take advantage of it. Even though every other sector has its own very, very core importance, but even now, more attention needs to be focused on agriculture so that it can help drive every other sector in the nation's economy. Because when there are sufficient funds to run the country, then infrastructural development and every other thing that needs to go with it will be well funded. And the aspect of digitalization of Nigeria's data records and every other thing that needs to go with it will be funded. So we need attention on agriculture, because this is a very key way for the government to fully diversify the economy, give more attention to these areas that can also generate foreign reserve and give the nation more lift economically. So we will want you to still keep chatting with us, and don't forget, tomorrow when we come, we'll also be looking at other aspects that have to do with the economy. We'll send you a message later today and you can know and be a part of it. Thank you so much for joining us today, and don't forget that on Dialogue Box we address issues, socio-political issues, and we talk the nation in the right direction. And for that, we say we believe in the Nigerian dream, and we know that things can only get better for us if we put our hearts and our minds on it. All right, so I'll see you tomorrow, and every one of us. So thank you so much for being with us, and I am Blossom, and we believe in the Nigerian dream. Thank you so much.